What's up, guys? Well, today I'm gonna be working on my new oil pan. Haven't really talked much about it since my last video where I made that dry sump oil pan. Right now, I am not gonna be going dry sump anymore. Still gonna need an external pump, but the pan basically needs to be remade because it's still going to be a wet sump oil pan. It's going to be a belt driven pump just like a dry sump, but without all the scavenging stages in the back. It's still going to have an oil pickup in the pan. It's basically going to function relatively similar to a stock oiling system. I started the pan already, as you can see. This is it. I'll show you a little bit more in a second. I'm getting my pump made from Dailey Engineering out in California. He has advised me to go with a -16 oil pickup, so that's to the low pressure side of the pump. Yeah, I had already made a pickup for the oil pan. I'll show you right here. Actually, I didn't actually make this part, I bought it. Turns out it is too small. He is worried about possible cavitation issues with the pump. You don't want to restrict the pump too much. You'd rather have it build more pressure and bleed off with a pressure relief valve. Otherwise, your pump is trying to pull in more oil than the sections will allow, or than the pipe will allow, causing cavitation, and that's not good for the pump. So he advised me, like I said, to go -16, which is basically an inch. So I got a new pipe here. I've got my -16 fitting, which is going to be on the outside of the pan. And yeah, so I'm basically just going to remake this whole part. So I'm going to rebend this piece. I'll show you how I bent it. I am actually going to make some baffles around the pickup as well back here. And then I have got these fancy dancy hinges that are going to go inside the baffles. There's going to be holes cut out in the baffle, so it's going to allow fluid in, but when I take a sharp turn, it's going to close, or when I hit the brakes hard, it's going to close. It's not going to let that oil that's in this baffled area leave. So I got these hinges to do that. Yeah, so basically what I'm going to start with, I'm going to cut these tacks, cut this weld right here, pull that off, rebend this guy, and yeah, get going. Over here getting ready to bend this plate up. I already kind of marked it. My marker's not working too well, but there's a little line there you can see that needs to be bent on. I don't have a fancy press brake or anything, but I did buy these magnetic brake jaws for a vise. I'm pretty sure these are for like a 5 or 6 inch vise. A 5-inch vise. I have a 4-inch vise, but they seem to work. So, got them on Amazon. I think they were like $50 actually, which isn't cheap, but it's not that expensive. So yeah, they just go right onto the vise just like that, and then there's the catch, and voila. Pretty handy. That's how I bent all the other stuff, and works pretty well. You got to kind of do it in sections on this, just because this piece is wider than the brake itself. I didn't have any issues doing that. Don't anticipate any issues doing it this way. But yeah, so let's get to bending it. the piece all bent up. Yeah, I got the old piece off of the old pan, or not the old pan, but you know what I'm saying. Cut this piece off, so this piece went here, just like that. So my old pickup would have been at the front of the pan, which after thinking about it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know why I put it there in the first place. I think towards the back of the sump would be a better idea, just from acceleration. Forcing all that oil back towards the pickup seems like a better idea than pulling it away from the pickup. Yeah, so this is basically trash. Now, I'm gonna basically copy this design just because I don't really have another idea, and why reinvent the wheel. So I've got this spare plate here. Gonna need to bend a box. Pretty straightforward because it's not a cube. I mean, it's not like fully enclosed. If it was fully enclosed, it's a bit more difficult. But really, it's just cut out, you know, kind of a T shape. Yeah, basically bend all four sides and then zip it up, weld it up, drill a hole in it, and then weld in the pipe. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna walk you through how I make this little box, how I make the tab. So, I started just laying this out with a pencil. Wasn't quite showing up very well. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got layout fluid. So, drenched it in layout fluid. This is what I'm using. It's Dykem Steel Blue layout fluid. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of takes a bit to dry when you put it on thick. I like to put it on thick just to make sure I can see it as good as I can. Once this is dry, I'll lay it out again, show you guys it, then cut it out and bend it. So it's quite that simple. Right on. Well, I had my camera set up on the saw and I forgot to turn it on when I cut it. Didn't take me very long, but here it is cut. So basically, this just has to get bent on that line, that line, that line, and that line to make the box. Well, I got the box welded up. It's over there cooling down on my table right now. Kind of show you what I'm thinking with the pan here. Anyways, this is going to be the back of the sump of the pan. This is going to be the side. Like I said earlier, I'm going to have the pickup over towards the back of the pan. Almost to the middle of the pan. I might shorten that up a little bit to get it a little more to the one side. Then I have got just some rough baffle plates I made up. They're going to get sanded down and perfected. Something like so. And then, oh no! You get the idea. I've also got, I think I showed you guys these already, these hinges specifically designed for oil pumps. The dowels are pinned in. They're not coming apart. They don't open all the way, they don't close all the way. Those are going to get welded in like so. Then there's going to be a slot cut out here that this flap is going to close. Whenever I'm making a turn, that's going to close and keep all that oil from going back out. Basically the oil pump's going to be able to open that to suck that oil into the baffled area. Yeah, it looks like I'm only going to be able to fit one on that side. This is going to be the other one. Should be able to fit all three here, really. Like so and like so. You get the idea. I think I have a little template for them. It shows how big the holes need to be. do it with a jigsaw. Basically drill a couple holes in it, in the corners, cut it out with a jigsaw. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to get to sanding these down. As you can see, this edge is freaking terrible. I'm going to sand that down just so I'll be able to get it down into the pan. I don't need it to seal up perfectly all the way around. I'm probably not going to worry about that too much. It's going to hold the majority of the oil in place, and that's what I want. So also want it to be able to drain completely. That's about it. I've been talking way too much in this video, so I'm going to get to it. What's up? I got pretty much the main sump of the oil pan done. One little thing to weld back on, but show you around it in a second. It's not super pretty, but I'm confident it'll get the job done. I don't have all the right tools to do all this 100% correctly, but do the best with what you got, right? So here's the pickup going out the side of the pan. This is this little baffle section I made with some hinges from Improved Racing, specifically designed. I mean, they're probably not designed as oil pan baffles originally, but that's what they sell them as. That's what they work for. Basically, it's going to let all the oil in and stop it from coming out. So I've got this back plate, going to mount on here like this, and then that's going to be the front part of the pan, like so. And I've got a little cardboard piece somewhere. Where did I put it? Then I cut out this little piece in cardboard, which is gonna go here. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Well, anyways, this is how the pan's gonna go on there. Then I made this piece. This is just cardboard. I'm gonna cut it out here in a couple minutes. That basically is gonna be the rest of the pan. It's skinnier back here, thicker up here. Promote flow into the sump of the pan. Shouldn't really be an issue, but yeah, so I have got this piece, gonna trace it out on some aluminum and then cut that out on my bandsaw, get it bent, and then hopefully I'm gonna bolt this flange up to the motor, tack all of it in place. I'm probably gonna final weld everything to the flange while it's on the motor, just keeping the flange straight. I may weld up this main sump first just to get that done in a solid piece. But yeah, so there we have it. What's up, guys? I'm finally 95% done with my oil pan. Yeah, I mean, there's really not that much to talk about. You guys kind of watched me do most of it. I welded it all up. Yeah, so I mean, here we are. I am by no means a professional. I only have, I mean, I did it all with a 4-inch vise with a 6-inch vise brake, an angle grinder, a bandsaw. I mean, really, that's pretty close to it, a welder, obviously. But if I had the right tools to do it all, it probably would have came out quite a bit better. But something like this can be done at home for pretty cheap. If you're willing to put the time in, and this is just the first one, proof of concept, gonna get the car on the road. Yeah, so So the rear cross member goes basically, or the front cross member goes basically right there, about that far away from the oil pan. Yeah, we got baffled oil pickup. I welded all this stuff in just to make it straight. It's not perfect, but really the sealing surface is this, so I'm not too worried about it. Make sure it's all sealed up, obviously, so no oil can get through anywhere and leak. But I'm going to toss a bead around there. I might end up running a bead around all of this, kind of linking it all together nice and nice-like. But this is pretty much the final product. These are my oil pan, baffle hinges. Got one there too. This is where my oil return is going to be. Dash 16 AN fitting. I thought I had it sitting around here, but I don't see it. It's rather big. Dash 16. If you don't know, AN fittings go in 1/8 inch increments. So a dash 16, oh, I'm sorry, 16th inch increments. A dash 16 would be 1 inch ID. So it was on the ground. Great place for an aluminum AN fitting. This is the fitting that's going to get welded on there. I don't want to put this on yet just because it's aluminum. Threads are pretty important. I mean, it was sitting on the ground. So. But yeah, basically that's going to get welded on right there. That's going to go back to my oil pump, which is going to be sitting roughly here. So it shouldn't have to travel very far to get up into the oil pump. Hopefully I don't have to do some weird loop-de-loop. I don't have the oil pump yet. It should be here, shipping out next week. They're made to order, so